All right, so because this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, I thought it'd be cool to do something a little different. I want to share my story with mental health and make like this little DIY coping box thing. And also, I have a special guest who we need to call up, so I'm gonna call him up. So this is Sky McKee.
Hello. I don't know where to look. Hi. Hi.
We got all the cameras going, baby. Is it Skylar or just Sky?
It was Skylar my whole life, and then I was like, oh, I need an internet persona. If I'm gonna be on the internet, I need a name that's different from like what my wife calls me.
I mean, you're talking to me, who I go by Schmood, so.
It's great. I love it. Yeah. So now, but it's bled now because more people know me as Sky.
Right.
Because I didn't have that many friends before, and now I have so many friends on the internet.
Do like your friends call you Sky then? Because it's gotten to the point where my friends call me Schmood, and I'm like, it feels weird to hear Brian sometimes.
Yeah.
They're like, hey Brian, I'm like, is that me? Am I Brian?
Yeah. When people say Skylar, I'm like, oh no, I'm in trouble.
But no, if you would just kind of tell us a little bit about you, Mr.
Sure.
Sky.
I am Sky. I like to talk about my feelings. I like to talk about mental health. I've had a lot of my fair share of trauma growing up, and it sucked, but I feel like I am more of the average person. I'm not a therapist. I'm just learning through the therapy that I've done and the experiences that I've had of ways to cope and to grow and to heal. I've been dealing with it since I was like born. So born years old.
So you're an expert. Not an expert, but you're well versed.
I'm unfortunately an expert.
You're unfortunately an expert, yeah. And that's why I wanted you here, because kind of my journey, I guess, through mental health is I've had OCD my whole life and didn't realize it, in the sense of I have intrusive thoughts, not so much of compulsions. And I just didn't understand what that was, and I was having panic attacks, all the fun things. And then when I did get diagnosed, I was able to like manage and mitigate that. And then ADHD on top of that, which is fun. Intrusive thoughts, but also all over the place. So cool. Just compiling. We love that.
Yeah.
So I got diagnosed in like 2014, worked through that, did all the fun things, was in remission for like 10 years, up until kind of last year, when it kind of got re-triggered with that, and then with also some personal things, a breakup. Something kind of new got introduced, which was disassociating, which I'm very new to. Talking with you, Skylar. I just called you Skylar. I don't...
Call me whatever.
You're not in trouble. I'm not calling you by your phone because you're in trouble. But talking with you, you have had more experience with that. That's kind of like what I wanted to focus on in this video.
Sure.
For you, what is disassociating, or yeah, if you could kind of help explain that to people who don't know.
Dissociation is like taking your brain and just putting it in the back, like taking all of your experiences and kind of dulling them and moving forward from that. A lot of it is just like literally disconnecting from reality and just kind of like being in a floaty place. It's hard to explain it unless you experience it. And I like to give it more of a positive spin, because I always say like, oh, this is a struggle. But trigger responses to trauma generally are your body trying to help. And so I feel like we give ourselves so much flack for being triggered and struggling in general.
Right.
But a lot of times that's your body trying its best, and it doesn't seem like that in the moment. A lot of times it feels like you're falling apart. But for me, I'm trying to appreciate it more and like nurture that part of me so I can come back to reality quicker.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. One of the things that someone has told me recently is like a process you can do is actually like thank your body. Be like, hey, thank you, body, for like trying to protect me, but actually I'm okay. Like that's like part of your like steps of like coming back to reality when it comes to disassociating. But no, like in the same breath, I've been also trying to like take less of a negative spin on all of my issues. Sure. Because like, yeah, I can like look at them as negative, but it's also because I've lived with ADHD, or I've lived with OCD, or now I'm disassociating. There's like new like strengths, I guess, that I'm getting from it.
Yeah, and I think knowing your trauma responses is important just for understanding yourself. It's not allowing those situations to define you and not saying that those things are okay, but it's taking your body's disposition now and trying your best to nurture you and help you. It's not for the past and it's not for the other person. It's literally, we don't take care of ourselves because of our trauma responses. We don't take care of ourselves to justify what someone else did or something that has happened. We take care of ourselves because we are what we have and we are the person that deserves respect and love. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, it does. And so with that, I had talked to my friend, her name is Jordan, and she introduced to me like a little 5 cents box or like a crisis box or like a mental health box, whatever you want to call it. And that's kind of what I wanted to show everyone. And mine, it feels very like starter kit, like because this is new to me, kind of start kit, and we're gonna see like what works and what doesn't. Talking with you, Sky, you've mentioned that it's kind of different for everyone.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go through mine real quick if that's cool.
Please and thank you.
So I got this little box from the thrift store, and the first thing I wanted to put in were notebooks with kind of different purposes. One, just like a safety plan, like the crisis hotline, and then things I learned in therapy, which is like the tip thing. So I have that in there. And then I wanted one that's like for like drawing or journaling, and maybe make like a to-do list of things I can do to like kind of take my mind off. Whoop, cool. Then like the 5 senses things. And this is, so one of the things that I've been told that helps and like it has helped for the most part is going through like your 5 senses.
I've heard them as grounding techniques.
Yes, love that. So like your grounding techniques. So like what you see, touch, feel, hear, and taste. And then like audibly saying the things. So you could just like use your surroundings to kind of get grounded and look at those 5 senses. But I thought I'd like get a box to like make it more accessible. So I'm just gonna go through all the things I have. I have kinetic sand, like a little bag that has some different rocks that are important to me. Also lavender. I have warheads, pop rocks, scented markers for drawing and smelling. Let's get some drawing. I have temporary tattoos and then also like body safe paint. Because one thing that my friend Jordan was saying that like when it comes to self-harm, sometimes if you have something that you can like put on your skin, like just even through like the process of like a temporary tattoo, that is enough to like kind of get you out of that headspace. Cool. Mm-hmm. That's what I have.
Sure. I think it's kind of like harm OCD is taking things to a level 10 in your mind, not on purpose, but it's just kind of like you feel compelled to go there. And so with self-harm, from what I've understood or learned from partners or friends, is that like it doesn't feel like there's another option. So yeah, when there is something that can soothe that, like that feeling of it being necessary, that's kind of that idea. Like I have a hair tie, so like I know a lot of people that'll like do like little things on their wrist to get rid of the desire.
The purpose of the box is ground you, but also to help with like any sort of like, I guess these triggers. A lot of times what I really just need is a distraction. Like sometimes it's nice to like sit with it and like figure it out. Like even with like the OCD part of my brain, to like sit with these thoughts and basically categorize them. But other times I do just need a distraction. And so like I have this like puzzle, which might help. Acknowledge the thought as a thought and then move forward. Also with that, I have like a coloring book, and then more along like the senses, I have like something really soft and like a screw and a smell of almond extract. It takes me back to like making stuff with my family. We use a lot of almond extract. And that's kind of just my box.
Great. No, I think that's great, and that's your learning, and that's what works for you, and you're going to continue to develop it as you as you find what works and what doesn't. And I think that's the beauty of it, is it's like we had mentioned, it's different for every person based on your experience, your trauma response, your trauma. And so I think the beautiful thing is that like, although it is potentially annoying, we need to give ourselves a break, and it is nice that we can take care of ourselves in a unique way.
I like that. I'm excited to kind of go through your bag and see what works for you, and your take on like disassociating. Before we get to that, I'm gonna monetize this video. I needed a sponsor. I was thinking about not doing that, but then like the irony of having like a mental health video and then like adding more workload, because if I didn't do it in this video, I'd have to do another video and I'd have more workload, which would be great for my mental.
Sure.
So So before Skylar shows his grounding stuff, here's a quick sponsor from past me. Cool. So, huge thing to say, sponsor Squarespace. I love Squarespace. I've been using them for 5 years. That's 10. Take that in half, 5 years. But I'll probably use them for another 5. So 10. Why I used Squarespace. I was looking to sell those little hand rings. And I wanted to get a website up in one night so I could launch the product the next day. And thanks to their e-commerce and their templates, I was able to not only put it up quick, but make it look professional and on brand to what I wanted. You probably make something that you could sell. Alongside their e-commerce is that they had the point of sale. So whether you are selling it online or offline, you can have your inventory up on Squarespace and it just keeps it in order. So when you will sell a product offline, it will take down the inventory so that you can keep on selling things online and the inventory won't get mixed up. Keeps it nice and organized. Another thing I really like is the fact that it is mobile optimized, meaning that your website's gonna look good on whatever device people are viewing it on. So whether it's a computer or phone, you're gonna be able to sell whatever you want with ease and beauty. So you can actually go to the link in my description right now and start building out your website for free today. And then when you decide to launch it or buy a domain or whatever, use the coupon code SHMOOD or go to squarespace.com/SHMOOD to get 10% off your first purchase. So cool. Also, hi from under the table.
Hi. It's nice down here.
Oh man. Okay. But cool. So
yeah,
now.
I think. Go ahead. Please.
No, you go ahead.
Please. I like oversharing, and I like making my point, and I like talking a lot. Which is, I'm trying to be better at all three of those things.
What's funny is I tell people all the time that I don't believe in overshares.
Oh, beautiful, because I've been told my entire life that I've been an overshare.
I think like something you say is going to resonate for someone and it needs to be said. Also, there's no such thing as like making people like uncomfortable with like your experience or your life, because it's just, it just is what it is, you know? So I don't believe in overshares. But anyways, sorry. I'm ready.
You're great. Okay. With that being said, here's my things. I like practical. I'm really big on practical because I was raised in church and I was raised like mysticism and a lot of spiritual. And so personally, something that makes me feel safe is tangibilities and things that are going to help me, because I spent a lot of time praying. And I spent a lot of time not understanding what I was doing. But for me, what's really important to me is like the tangibles, the reality, like what I can feel, taste, touch, the grounding things that are less of a spiritual and more of like a what can I hold in my hand. And so a big thing is like having a bag for me to hold everything. What's up?
So not to interject, but like I came from a very like Christian home.
Same.
And it's interesting that I do need the tangible things, but I'm learning that I need a very like spiritual aspect in my life.
Really?
For like something to hold on to, like almost like a foundation. I don't know how that correlates with disassociating, but like with other stuff like my external dread. What's the word? Existential crisis. There we go.
Yeah. So I had a really bad one when my parents divorced, because that was my understanding of like God and reality. I was raised Christian too. And I fully like dropped my faith, and then this is a full different thing. I actually don't talk about this, but like I'm full on like it's funny, I'm full on like Holy Spirit now, and like I've seen real life miracles and I've seen like crazy things happen. So I'm Christian. I love Jesus, and I do inner healing, which is like it's like talk therapy mixed with the idea of Jesus and Holy Spirit and God, because I don't know if it's because of terminology that I understood from a child that makes it safe, or if it's like God really doing things in my life. But I think that in terms of my grounding, it needs to be practical. So like I love God, I love my spirituality. I just it used to be used as a weapon, and it used to be used. It was never my safe space. And so when people say pray, I say no. But when people say here's some Tums, I say thank you. Like it's. Tums has never been used against me
right.
to sway my opinion.
I think a lot of my like triggers.
My faith has.
it does come from more of like that background, right? Like that Christian background and stuff. Mm-hmm. So more tangible things that make sense to me, and I'm excited to see how that helps. Huh? Cool.
Yeah. It's funny, I don't talk about my faith online at all because everyone has their own experience, and I want people to be able to experience that separately from me. So
I mean I don't either. I don't know if I've ever kind of told my story. I don't know if this will make the cut, honestly. Maybe it will, and I think it's important to know that our backgrounds heavily form like our reality, you know?
Yeah. I love the idea of a crutch. I think a lot of people used to be rude and be disrespectful about having crutches or having something to lean onto. But I think having a foundation, like you said, is incredibly important for your psyche and incredibly important for your being something to build off of.
Some ideas, some belief system to build off of. And looking at it as a crutch.
Whether it's atheism, whether it's, it's
100%. And honestly, I look at like my belief as a crutch because like there's no way to prove it, right? It's just like a way for me to feel better, but it's important to me. We're
all experiencing life. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Everyone's experience is unique and beautiful, and it needs to be respected, in my opinion.
The same.
Do you want to know my bag?
Yes. Let's go through your bag. Also, your bag's different. It's not a box, which is one step above.
It's a bag. It's just I can keep it. It's like practical.
Right.
Everything's practical. I'm so about practical. So, other than it being supreme, it's very practical. Shoulder bag. It has a loop for my keys. I like to keep my wallet in my bag. It makes me feel safe to have all my belongings on me that can identify me, and I can buy things and get out of sticky situations.
Right.
Let's start. Let's go. I have that. I have...
Question. Sorry, before you start. With the bag, is this bag something you've had for a while? It's something that you've been using for a while as well? Like.
Yeah. I was a touring musician before.
Right.
Quarantine. Actually, right before quarantine, we did our a full U.S. tour as a headliner, and it was incredibly successful. It was amazing. I had a really good time. But this is when I'm in Utah and I don't know where I am. This is my bag. This is my bag for when I'm in Canada and I don't know where I am. It's like my essentials have to be on.
I love the idea of like, right, that's what it is. I love that it's like a to-go bag. It's like not a bug out bag, but it's a to-go bag because
sure,
having a box is cool, but like I would have to go to the box to get it. You know what I mean? This is just like with you, and you never know when you're gonna like kind of leave reality. So
yeah, I have 2 totes and my shoulder bag.
Yeah.
So I have my bag. I'm gonna put it on because I love it so much. My friend gave it to me, and I'm getting really into vintage and secondhand usage things. So eucalyptus oil. I'll show it to the camera. I have eucalyptus oil. It's my wife's favorite scent. It's an essential oil, so it's good to smell, and it reminds me of her. Very important. I have my fire sauce packets, Taco Bell. It is a topping that I really like. No shame, don't care. It's very nice, and I like it, and it's mine. I have a drawing pad, and I have a notebook. I write lyrics in my notebook, and I draw doodles in my drawing pad. Little homies. I showed it to my camera. Do you want to see? I sell my drawings like once a year.
Just all of them?
They're just all of them. I'll draw for like a year and then just sell them.
I love that. Also, I don't know if it's been acknowledged that you're under my table because my phone is dead and you're charging, but hi from under the table.
Hi.
That hasn't been acknowledged. Okay.
But yeah, so fire sauce, those things. I have thinking putty. It's like a thicker silly putty, and it also, I didn't show you this last time, but it glows. There's like a black light, and you put the light on the stuff, and then it's just the best. I
love that.
Nail polish, because I like nail polish. I have these original mood shoes, PYM. They're great. They have ingredients for anxiety and stress.
I thought we were going to say with ingredients. They have ingredients.
Yeah, they have ingredients, and it's great. I literally have like 15 cases of them. I have electrolyte powder that I put in my water that has a filter just in case I need my water. A lot of it's practical. It's all just things that are convenient for me. When I'm dissociated, I don't have much of a struggle with like kind of overdoing it, and so I do feel safe having a small amount of Tums and a small amount of Tylenol for myself, for my stomach or my headaches or my ouchies. And so those two things are important to me. It's different for everyone. I'm very allergic to ibuprofen, so
really?
It has to be Tylenol. Yeah, can't do Advil. And then more practical stuff, I have my sunglasses, prescription sunglasses, and I have my matcha stick. It's for your lips or like dry spots, and then I have SPF. The homies. Pew! So
love it.
I think that's everything that I like use that like lives in this bag regularly.
Basically, I want to touch on the fact that you were talking about how sometimes there's things that you use to like get out versus like when you are like disassociating to like fill it out. Like, I'm just gonna feel this way, and this is good. I'm just gonna stay comfortable while I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible feeling to feel. It's not a terrible feeling to feel if you're feeling it for yourself. My personal dissociation, like I've said, I've been dealing with this so long that it's like that is my safety, and that I've spent more time dissociated than I have present. Just being completely honest, my wife can attest to that. And so for me, the things that I do to keep me there, or not keep me there, but like wait it out, or like drawing, or like playing with putty, just doing the things that are comfortable for me. But the things that help me get out are the practical things. Like if I have a headache that has caused me to dissociate, I need to take something for my headache to make me stop dissociating, whether that be I'm dehydrated, which happens a lot, or Tylenol, or Tums.
Is there something that you do, like when you feel it coming on, and if you're like, hey, I don't want to deal with this right now, or I don't want to dissociate right now, is there something that you do?
No, it's too strong. I've never been able to not. I've been able to assess and find a better way after. Sorry, just because of my trauma, I literally have never been able to be like, it's coming. I'm like, it's coming. I need to be safe.
I feel like maybe I am a little different in that regards, because with like my OCD, I was always taught to allow them to be there and like categorize them as such. Like, oh, this is just like an intrusive thought. Oh, this is just an irrational fear. This is just whatever. Instead of like trying to get rid of them, because your brain will then recognize it as like something important, something real. Like, oh, you're trying to get rid of this. This is real. This is important. We need to worry about it. Which is usually would trigger me into like a dissociative state now, or like trigger me into like a panic attack. I have been able to see those coming on and like be able to decide that I wasn't going to disassociate. I wasn't going to.
Sure.
But I don't have any.
Teach me.
Yeah, I don't have any things that I do to like avoid it, other than willingly like say like I'm not going to right now.
Sure.
Or, like,
here's the thing.
I don't even know.
I do know that there are a lot of things that do trigger me, and so I set myself up for success, because if it's happening, it's happening. And so like being hydrated is, like I said, really important to me. Like having sunscreen on and like being able to like I have these things that are my like, I need these 5 things to be happening for me to feel safe. Right. And I don't think that's always something, depending on, no, in general, you shouldn't like, you want to get rid of the trauma response. But while you have the trauma response, to make life easier is to feel safer in those moments. Does that make sense? Yeah,
I'm just like further learning that everyone just experiences it different. I'm trying to think how to end this. I don't want to end it. I want to pick your brain more.
Please.
But I met Sky, virtually met, through TikTok, where you were like sharing like just like your thoughts. I guess that is basically my main goal with this video, is because like hearing your thoughts, I felt very validated and seen, and that's kind of like what I want. I want everyone to kind of feel validated or seen, that we're all going through this together, you know, this life, this experience of being a person.
It's wild making a video and just saying, I'm sorry you feel that way, I'm sorry no one understands you, and people feeling so understood. I never thought that I would experience that for myself, because I am just making videos of what I wish I heard when I was 10. Like, that's my goal. Any of my videos, you watch a video and you go, wow, that's, if you just think of it as Sky trying to talk to 10-year-old Sky, I think it'll all make a lot more sense, because it's just me talking to me to help me, and it's helping it's supposedly helping a lot of people. So
no, it is. It's helped me. I resonate. That resonates super hard. I feel like little 10-year-old me, that boy, he could use some hugs. Which is so weird, because I had a very innocent, wholesome childhood, and yet, you know, I still have my own trauma, my own issues that came from that.
I also think that everyone experiences trauma differently, and there's no comparison. Some people have like lesser of a threshold for what their mind allows to pass through. Does that make sense? Like,
no, yeah, for sure.
I was never physically abused, but I was treated incredibly poorly emotionally, and religiously, and so that's where mine lie. And the next person could say that's not a big deal. People have said that, and some people have said, hey, this, I relate heavily to this, like, so it's just, everyone's experience is their own.
The trauma's not the same, but methods of like helping or like coping or healing, or maybe the thing that ties us together is the fact that we all kind of want to heal.
That's kind of how I feel. It's like we didn't deserve the trauma, but we deserve the healing.
Yeah, I love that.
And the coping.
The coping and healing. Well, Sky, thank you so much. If you guys want, you can follow Sky on TikTok, Instagram, and he's been recently doing YouTube videos, so go follow him over there. I'll put a link somewhere so you can go do it. Is there any other plug that you'd like me to do, Sky? I mean, your band or your podcast? You're doing it all, and I love it. I'm here for it. So
thanks.
Yeah, I can plug it all. I'm not scared. I'll plug it all.
I'm just happy that you allowed me to talk about my feelings with you.
All right, so be sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for our patrons.